All right, so red-black Aristocrats. To start with some of the jargon, Aristocrats, for those not familiar, is a magic term that refers to a deck that sacrifices its own creatures or cards for value. So in this case, we have Witch's Oven, Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and Woe Strider that allow us to sacrifice our cards for value. There's a lot of different decisions you can make with the little details in this archetype. There are a ton of good 3-drops. There's a variety of good 2s and 1s as well. One thing that I'm doing different in this list that's currently different from the list on my website and different from lists we've played in the past is I've cut Stormfist Crusader, and in part I've cut Stormfist Crusader because not only is red aggro popular right now and you don't want Stormfist Crusader against red aggro, but the control matchups where you want Stormfist Crusader, it's not even that good because they have a bunch of Narsets in their deck to make it extra awkward. So I've decided to eschew that card. I'm playing some main deck discard, which is fine against red and good against control. And actually looking at this list and thinking about the control matchup really quick, I'm actually going to throw a 4th Chandra in the sideboard because I think Chandra is just like our single best card against blue-white for pressuring their planeswalkers down while surviving their sweepers. So I think I just want the max copies of her. So let me re-export this and let's dive on into a couple of ladder matches here with this one and see how it goes. The Ashioks in the main deck is something that I could ask about on occasion. We have 8 escape cards in this deck, as well as Cauldron Familiar that doesn't mind flipping into the bin. So Ashiok's sort of a form of main deck graveyard hate, while also being an enabler for our things that care about the discard pile, which is nice. Is Big Chandra too expensive? Not only is she expensive, but she's just kind of clunky. I don't think slow, grindy card advantage like that is what I'm interested in. Favorite standard deck at the moment? I don't know if I have a particular one that jumps out at me. There's a lot of different things that are on right now that are pretty neat. Alright, so I believe if I put a stop here and shock this in, I can Kroxa and then sack the Kroxa. I don't need the full control, right? Alright, yeah. So eat this, make some food. So if you put a stop on the phase where you're doing this, you don't need the full control mode. I think we just put some cats into play here. It's not quite resource efficient, but gets the life flow going. Six mana Chandra. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Trying to beat Trawler with 6 mana Chandra, or trying to beat blue-white with Trawler with 6 mana Chandra in the with 6 mana Chandra is just not good anymore. Her emblems are just too slow, and 6 mana is just a lot of mana. So the 2 foods from Kroxa here mean even if they kill some of my cats, they're just going to come back, which is nice. Now, that being said, cleave does still happen. We're not going to bring the cat back right away because I could draw Mayhem Devil. If I draw Mayhem Devil here, we just end their entire career. Just a Kroxa. Sad. I think I just Woe Strider here then. Angra's Rampage could be okay. I don't know. Being reactive in those matchups kind of sucks. I think the plan of kill them around, before or around or through the Dream Trawler is probably a pretty realistic answer. Everybody always wants to become the super interactive deck. in every matchup, and I just think that that's pretty wrong a lot of the time. Like, a matchup like this, we can afford to become interactive in. But against blue-white, I think that's not quite the case. Yeah, almost assuredly about to get Ember Cleaved here. So again, gonna wait to bring this back because we could draw Mayhem Devil. So I think the plan here is eat a food, bring back 2 cats, cycle the cat, and then hopefully we get Priest of the Forgotten Gods going. Again, just kind of crossing our fingers and holding out hope that we could eventually find a, Mayhem Devil. Morning, Admiral. We'll go down to 4 here. I mean, if they Rimrock, I can gain life in response as in Toth, so I don't have to do that proactively, no. Opponent's stage is thoroughly lit. Do I sack this goat to try and hit Devil? I don't think so just yet. If I play Kroxa and sack him to Priest, I don't have mana to play Mayhem Devil if I draw him. So I only have 1 red. I guess I need these on blockers, huh? Might as well attack with this. It's a free roll. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because they have this. Something, something, skill game, something, something, better player always wins, etc., etc. Never didn't have it. Survived an Ember Cleave, chat. Not many get to say that. Survived a trip to Cleveland. I think this is the plan. A couple of Bedevil, a couple of Redcaps, claim the Firstborn, trim Ashiok, trim Trim the discard spells. I'm pretty sure you should get a Steam style achievement for surviving a game where Cleave connects. Yeah, I agree. Do I want the third? Do I want the third copy of this? I might. Did I bump something? Is Tibalt better than Chandra here for the chance of making blockers impact the board? No. Chandra feeds Priest, and she flashes back removal spells. Chandra flashing back removal spells could be super relevant here. Well, those were not the droids I was looking for. Do I redcap their Scorch Spitter? Probably. Yeah, their light at the stage was literally discard a card here, so even if we fumble, we might be okay here. Didn't fumble. And now Kroxa gets to trigger Mayhem Devil. Our best draw next turn is an Oven. No blocks, not losing this to a shock. Or a stomp or whatever. Alright, they found their land. Yeah, it could be Rimrock as well. Man, we should try Anax in this deck at some point too. Anax with Kroxa is kind of sick. If this cat dies, or we put the Bedevil in the bin, we get to escape Kroxa. I've not, Dr. Jazz, and this archetype hasn't been super popular. Oh, I should have chump blocked there, right? Yeah, I'm dumb. I should have chump blocked there. So I could escape this like we just talked about. That's fine. That's fine. We're super far ahead. Leave my cats in there in case we draw an oven. Maybe this is being too conservative. It feels like they could have drawn the 4th cleave. I don't know. I don't really want to lose it to a shock. Yeah, I just drew a shock, sure. I got all 4, did I? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. Oh, we did exile 1. Right, I forgot the other one. You're right. Silent Nexus, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think it's right to play around the shock there anyways. Attack you for 9. 3 of which you can't jump. Let's try a pair of Anax in here. I want to see how it feels. I'm gonna split. Can I coward split just like 3/3/3 at my planeswalker slot? Is that crazy? I feel like that's not crazy. How do you spell this card? There we go. All right. I think I want all 4 Chandra in the 75. What do I want to cut out of my sideboard? Do I need Drill Bit? 6 discard spells might be a little bit much. Let's try and draw Anax. I'm gonna go 3 Anax, 3 Woe Strider. See how that feels. Anax isn't too terrible in multiples, just because it when you play the second one, you make a bunch of tokens, which is fine. Yeah, I guess Gruul has been kind of bad. I could just trim Noxious Grasp, and I have a lot of Redcap Melee. I don't know. I don't really have any other cards that I really want to fit in my sideboard. I think 6 discard spells is too many against control. I think that's too many cards that just like aren't being aggressive. Let's try this. Sure. Mana's a scotch awkward. Mire Triton's an interesting thought. I don't hate that card. I feel like I want the Agonizing Remorses in my 75 though, so I feel like if I'm trimming Agonizing Remorse for creatures, I need to fit them into the sideboard. While 6 discard spells is too many, I do think I want 4 for this matchup specifically, in fact. Yeah, Mire Triton's definitely a constructed playable card, I think. Super, super reasonable. Ashiok mills yourself, T-Banks. So Ashiok, think of Ashiok as a mill 20. It also randomly, God, what a healthy, reasonable format. Just main deck Aether Gust. Healthy and reasonable. Ashiok is also main deckable graveyard hate. Come on, it says green or red, right? Three-drop enchantment to make zombies. Yeah, I think that one's fine. I feel like this deck doesn't have a lot of extra creatures that it wants to exile a lot of the time. Yeah, and I like just getting to have a lot of cards there. It's such a good draw for them. We're probably dead here. Yikes. Guess we take Dream Trawler so we can try and grind through this, but I think our land's coming into play tapped and then missing a color here is probably the death knell. Especially with Aether Gust waiting up there for us. Yeah, I really like Priest. Priest is a card that, like, people have to answer or they lose the game quite frequently. It puts your Mayhem Devils into overdrive. I feel like Priest is, like, the hallmark of... Priest is, like, a hallmark of the aggressive builds of this archetype. Like, I feel like if you're not playing Priest, you tend to struggle to be appropriately aggressive. Well, that was a good draw. Creature that doesn't get Aether Gusted is quite wonderful here. Would like to draw a red source here so we can play another spell. Perfect. Gust me, daddy. Never forget, this stream was recorded in front of a live studio audience. Great. If these are bricks, I guess they get to Teferi. They get to Teferi down tick my priest here. It's a lot of looks too. I have so many spells in my hand. Is it crazy to sack this to just deny them the draw? I feel like it's not. Meh. Oh, I've done the hero thing. Negative, Admiral. Yeah, we're just dead. We just stumbled for too long. Priest is good, Bedevil's fine. Ashiok's kind of slow. Maybe I don't. Maybe Bedevil's not the X I want to fight. I just want to trade Ashiok for Chandra. I like how instead of actually fixing the bug where the noise gets stuck, they instead just had it clear all playing sound effects when you submit your sideboarding. It's a good quality workaround. Yeah, Knight's very good. We've played Knight in previous builds. It's possible Knight's just better than Gutterbones, honestly. Yeah, right? Like, why don't they clear it when you just, like, first go to sideboarding is a really good question. I agree. Let's bottom that and draw a red source. Untapped land. Sick.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires. Don't worry, I brought company.
If they don't gust my Chandra here, we're going to flashback Agonizing Remorse next turn. They're going to draw Step Guster. Sure. Oh, I probably should have bottomed that, huh?
Living in a monastery.
I don't know. It could go either way there.
These little guys are great.
Yeah, probably should bottom her there. Yeah, I agree. A lot of people like to salt off about all 3-mana Planeswalkers being bad because of, like, Teferi and because of Oko, but Chandra really is, like, peak good Planeswalker design, I feel. All right. Am I interested in pressuring them here? I think so. Weird that they gave me an activation. Seems wrong. Nah, I think their health total's low enough that I just want to kill them at this point.
Chandra, you need more control.
So there's some merit to leaving Teferi alive and putting them to 2, but if I leave Teferi alive, they can instant speed sweeper next turn, which is not ideal. So I think I'd rather just take their Planeswalker off the table.
Don't worry, I brought company.
Anax, we drew Anax and they conceded. Card's ob's great. Card is obviously great. Stole the game. See if we can get one on the draw here now. This is fine. Not like super exciting, but fine. I think we play cat on one here, most likely. Definitely, since we drew another land. If we don't draw the untapped land there, there's a decision between, like, whether or not we cat, or, like, because we can't, if we cat, we can't guaranteed go this. It might be wrong to not just take the Clarion. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Chaos. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think since they didn't take the bait on this, I just pass here. And then if they want to Clarion, clear these out, I'm okay with that. I'm going to just use my mana here. Let them dispute. It's kind of weird to me that they left Dispute in against us. That feels like a strange card against my more aggressively slanted deck. At some point, I plan to draw spells this game, and it's going to be great. You have another Dispute? God, vomit. Not even just one dispute, multiple disputes. Clarion, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are gone. The Historic set this morning was really good. The Naya Feather deck's a lot of fun. So you get to crack this Fabled Passage, deal a damage to their face, which lets us trigger the Gutterbones and pick that back up and cast it here, which is great. I think I'd rather redeploy Gutterbones rather than play a second Mayhem Devil out here. It's one less power in play, but it leaves us an extra threat in hand should they have another sweeper, which is not unlikely. Fabled Passage busted, please nerf. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna do it again. They see me grinding, do do do. Do 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 do. Gutterbones is like, listen, boss, I got this. I got this. I just put me in, coach. Just put me in. Crunch. Three more bricks. Three more bricks. Oh no, they're counting mana, chat. Oh no, don't count mana. Okay, I think they were just counting lands because they were salty about how many lands they've drawn. I think that was I've drawn a lot of lands and I'm counting them count. There are 9 cards in my bin. This cat comes back a couple of times. Concede! 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 Is Knight of the Ebon Legion still right? Knight of the Ebon Legion, he'd have been super dead. Well, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for them here. Stomping the creature we could sacrifice. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. You're right, I could have sacked Gutterbones and replayed it, but maybe not sacking Gutterbones was the big brain play, because if I had sacked Gutterbones, they would have realized that was a line, and then perhaps they would have stomped the correct creature there. Maybe I was playing 4D chess the entire time. Chewy, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I feel like I had something I wanted to change after playing that, but I also feel like I'm just ready to play more games. Yeah, I think let's just run it back. Let's just run it back. Actually, you know what? If I didn't board in, was I supposed to board in Tibalt there? I probably was supposed to board in Tibalt there, huh? And I didn't. He should probably stay in my sideboard. Does this card belong in my sideboard? Only Gutterbones. Gutterbones knows what's up. He's coming for you, chat. He's coming for you. Yeah, let's just play another one. I wouldn't fault someone for mulliganing this hand, but here we are. Ha. Let's go! I think I like having a couple Ashiok's main. I don't know. I think they're fine. I hope they're fine. Huh. So do I Priest here and then get Clarion and Cry? I think because they're Jeskai again, I just Oven here and get that plan going. Is my plan. The real upside to the Ashiok is when you get to randomly turn off your opponent's Fabled Passages. That's the real big brain play. We drew Ashiok last time we played this deck. I mean, Kroxa doesn't need an enabler, but it's nice when you have one. I agree with you that, like, Kroxa isn't, like, enabler required, but it's nice when you get it.
Past, present, and future thoughtfulness before action.
Are they Planeswalker fires? Narset probably means Planeswalker fires, right? Yeah, I think you can play Priest with Mire Tritons and Tiamat's though too. Ashiok also draws you Gutterbones and extra cats here too. Which is relevant. I missed a cat sack. I didn't I?
Lead you astray.
Talking and clicking are not my strong suit still. We'll get there someday. We've not cardboard tech. They played their 2 spells. Let's just do this. I'm gonna wait till my turn to bring the cat back since it can't attack anyways.
Your end has arrived.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I like it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Like I don't know if this is good, but it's certainly great. I'm pretty sure I wait till their turn to priest them because I want to draw a card and Narset's currently in play. Yeah, it's not red creature. Anax plus Cat Oven is really good. Well, they're not about to have a dragon in a moment.
To the skies.
So they're bringing things back from their discard pile for the next 2 turns here. So I probably don't want to kill their planeswalkers next turn.
Anyone who stands in my way is getting sizzled.
Yeah, rough.
I always wanted to make a really big fireball.
I should wait on this because I could draw Mayhem Devil, right? Yeah, Sarkhan can kill himself by down ticking, but then they're not getting this one back. They're not getting something back with this, and then they're not attacking us with planeswalkers next turn. So that seems like a net positive for us. Yeah, someone said Kroxa was playing Jeskai Planeswalkers this morning. Hey, thanks for the 3rd of a year, Haas. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Assume we're dead here. These Jeskai matchups always felt hard for this archetype. I don't know that the tools that we've gained recently really changed that dynamic. We did beat the Cavs version last set though. Sure, Wargy. Like what? Okay, so again, this is just like peak Twitch chat, good lessons in general, like pointing that out. What does pointing that out mean for my play pattern? How, instead of saying, hey, they can do this, you should focus on what play I should be making because they can do that play. So rather than just being like, hey, you're fucked, you should instead be like, hey, you can do these things or change your play patterns to try and not be screwed, right? And if you can't make or change your play patterns to not be screwed, it's not even worth really talking about if you can't meaningfully play around it. I think this is a matchup that we cut Mayhem Devil in just because it gets swept away by Clarion, and it's not great against, it's not great against their Teferi. And again, like, a lot of people, when they see games like that, they start running through their minds like, all right, how do I beat these cards? The answer is you kill them first, or you hope they don't have it, etc. Is Grasp good enough here for ECD? I'm going to give you a 10-minute break to read Noxious Grasp, because you don't appear to know the text on that card. Sure, so your conclusion is you're telling me I'm supposed to be conceding, which also isn't super helpful when I'm trying to figure out how to win the game. And again, players just spend so much time worrying about things they can't worry about rather than trying to find solutions to the problems. Don't worry about the problems you can't solve. Work on the ones that you can. Be detail-oriented. Sure. Bedevil. Bedevil is good against mono red because it kills Embercleave. I agree. The games, this match is incredibly emotionally unsatisfying when the games you win in this matchup, they tend to not their deck tends to not function, because when the opponent's deck functions, it just kills ours. This is how the matchup works. When their deck is firing on all cylinders, we don't get to beat them. He says as he looks at this hand. Sometimes you can scrape it out, and a well-placed discard spell can pull you over the hump, but in general, I think this matchup is bad, and that's fine, right? There's a lot of different decks in this format. Having one bad matchup doesn't make your deck unplayable.
I know my responsibility. Might be a bad idea.
Control decks are good against the Fires decks. Counter spells. Flash decks are good against the Fires deck.
Not to brag, but I'm totally the best pyromancy student.
I don't know how traditional Simic ramp plays out against Flash against this offhand. Nice, Beansy. Slow and steady. like I said, we just kind of hoping that they're... It's a gross oversimplification, but doesn't fires kind of function like a ramp deck. It's more of a combo deck than a ramp deck if you want to split hairs about semantics. So like ramp decks tend to be characterized by playing like 2 lands per turn or 2 mana sources per turn, whereas like fires plays 1 card and then that 1 card makes like 10 extra mana. It's definitely closer to like, you know, Dark Ritual or Seething Song than, you know, Growth Spiral or Paradise Druid. Is melee for Sarkhan too narrow? Yes. We're not the control deck here, Dr. Jezen. We don't win this matchup by trying to pull up and go toe-to-toe with them. We win this matchup by getting a little bit lucky and their deck not functioning. Too often, players don't want to hear the answer is that they just need to get a little bit lucky. You need to assume your role. Our role is the beatdown here. Be the beatdown, chat. I believe in you. Drawing 2 cats to start each game's been real good, by the way. There's only 3 cats in this deck, which might be wrong. Ashiok helps us draw the cats, is the logic. But boarding in Bedevil in this matchup is assuming the incorrect role. If you board in Bedevil in this matchup, in my opinion, you don't understand what your role is in the matchup. That was a really good draw. This draw being so good here is why there's 2 more in the sideboard. This is just our best card in these matchups. Do I leave this at 1? I think I leave this at 1, huh? Do I get punished later for leaving this at 1? The point of damage could really matter. I think I leave here at 1. I boarded out Mayhem Devil because you can't have too many 3-drops in this matchup or you just clunk up and die. And I think the Devil is the worst of my 3-drops because they're a Deafening Clarion deck. I think I want to stop Narset from drawing them another card, but I also don't really want to take her off the table. Oh my! Thanks for the 41 months, chat. It's a long time. Thanks for the generous tier 3. Hope everything's treating you well on the left goes. Yeah, leaving Narset makes our priest slightly worse potentially down the line. But that's it. Think I'm supposed to do this.
Let's slow this down. Trust me, I have a plan.
Again, I believe it is correct to kill Teferi here because killing Teferi prevents them from sweeping at instant speed on my next turn, which I think is relevant. Oh, there's a fires in play. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Does the one, maybe the 1 point matters? You're right, there is a fires in play. Yeah, maybe that's wrong because there's a fires in play. If they find a sweeper here, we could have killed them if I would have put the extra damage at their face. Mostly watch on YouTube. Thanks for all the content. Thanks for stopping to drop off that Prime, Everick. I really appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. Happy Wednesday.
We begin. Come to me.
That's super unfortunate.
My friend is here to help your pain.
Did they not know their Sarkin had static text? One of the other cute interactions in this deck that we were about to get to do there is Chandra can put 1/1 counters on our other thing. So like Chandra puts counters on Tibalt to give her a third token. Which is funny. Her 0 puts a loyalty on each red counter. Each red planeswalker you control. Let's play one more. Let's play one more. I think I'm happy with what we've got. Let's see another one with some Anax. You enunciate more clearly than most Americans. I did do some community theater stuff in high school and college, but not a ton. We have 4 copies of Mayhem Devil in our deck. I bored them out against Deafening Clarion. We didn't have them in that last game, but there are definitely 4 copies of Deafening Clarion in my deck. Snap it off. Cause it's a sneepa keepa doo 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 sneepapa keepapa. Hey Zero, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If we can manage to win this match, we might be safe to sit on our rank through the end of the month. Easy trade here, I think. Probably just triggering light up the stage, yep. Light them up. They're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Do, 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 do. Show me what you're working with. I think I just take their Phoenix here. And exiles it. That's a pretty good one. Although, I guess they're giving... Oh, they're not... I would say they're giving it up. They're not giving it up because of the way the adventure interaction works. That makes sense. Brick, 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 brick. Well, that's kind of the opposite of a brick. So they get to go make mana, play 1-drop, play Steamkin, or play Steamkin, play, yeah, wow. I think we've died, chat. But remember, not a combo deck. Not a combo deck. 3 lands in play, cast infinite spells. Not a combo deck. I think we're dead. Good example of why Agonizing Remorse boards out in this matchup. Much rather have cards that play to interact with the board. Wellborn Muse, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Am I dead on board? Think so. It smells pretty dead. Yes, in this matchup, someone asked earlier, again, talking about knowing your roles, someone asked earlier, where do the Bedevils come in? This is where the Bedevils come in. We are the control deck in this matchup. I think I want to do this, bring in a bunch of cheap removal, bring in the Bedevils, cut the discard spells, cut the Gutterbones. They don't block particularly well. Yeah, I think Chandra's good here. Chandra feeds Priest, Chandra feeds Witch's Oven, Chandra flashes back removal spells for cheap. If they're attacking Chandra, that's often fine because it's gaining you life. Chandra's not good here as an aggressive tool like it is, like she is in other matchups, but she's still fine. Hey, Crazy Slot, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan this. Yes, Chandra's good with Devil for sure. Big agree there. Alright, please don't cap me. Please don't lava coil me. So, I held my Kroxas there because if you Kroxa with Anax in play, you get 2/1/1/1 creatures, is the synergy there. So, the reason I elected not to Kroxa on 2 is because I wanted to get some 1/1s with it. At least their 2-for-1's gonna miss here. This will feed Kroxa down the line, and it's good if we draw Mayhem Devil. So I have 2 cards in my bin right now. This will be 3, 4, 5 eventually, which is nice. Maybe I'm supposed to save this for a bigger threat. I don't know, this is a lot of damage. Worth noting that if I would have played the Fabled Passage last turn, I could have escaped Kroxa this turn. That's a pretty big mistake. So because I drew second Fabled Passage, this is card 5, this is card 6, so I couldn't escape my Kroxa this turn because of my land sequencing. Things to note, if I would have escaped Kroxa this turn, they wouldn't have been able to attack me for 3, and things could definitely snowball from here very easily. Little decisions like that can make a big difference. Correct. That's why I'm counting to 6, King. You listen to the words I've said. I've been counting to 6 the entire time in terms of talking about getting Kroxa back. Wow, they played the land and it lost them the Embercleave. That's a mistake on their part. Well, shoot.
No? Too bad.
Need to flashback Lava Coil here. Wait, what? Block. Lava Coil would have done 6. They missed it. Golden Oreo Minio, thanks for the 11 months. Alright, well.
Come on, Chandra, remember that spell.
It's a big deal. We take those here, yep.
Rude. Don't worry, I brought company.
Feels Magic Man. Ten lands and 17 cards. We made a mistake. They made a couple of mistakes. We flooded and died. That's kind of how it goes. Sure. Gotta be Clover, right? Gotta be Clover. I look for a $50 donation to cut decks into the schedule, generally speaking. I'm back. Wargy's right. I was pulling out my Invisalign so I can eat some lunch. Well, we're in a pretty okay spot here, right? We, like, get the last card out of their hand. Mayhem Devil kills this 1/1. I've got 5 cards in here, so I need 1 more to escape Kroxa back into play. It is, in fact, an Uncrustable. They're great. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Uncrustables, but Smuckers, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Missing Red Man has been real good for us, huh? I'm gonna sack the goat and a devil and kill this Bay of Wishes before they get to trade with my Kroxa. Gobble gobble. Pretty good clean living here. Go. That was a mistake. I should have cracked the Fabled Passage and killed their 1/1 there, instead of letting them jump block with it. Interesting, Redlocks. Good to know. I'll have to ping their community person to find out what's up with that. And when you sack the second devil, you still get a trigger, but I can't explain why. Because it sees itself get sacrificed, is the slightly convoluted answer. Is it crazy to click submit here? I guess Claim the Firstborn's pretty good. Maybe I want Noxious Grasp too. Killing Innkeeper's pretty important. Kills Lovestruck Beast as well. Gutterbones doesn't really attack in profitably against a lot of their stuff. Maybe Ashiok's not stellar. Ashiok grinding out Kroxa is actually probably pretty good, because getting a 6/6 down seems super reasonable in this matchup. Let's trim Gutterbones. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, probably pretty reasonable shot of Uro. Doesn't seem like an unreasonable assumption. It might have been right to Remorse on 2 instead of the Priest there because of the possibility of Bone Crusher. Declining to block here because of the possibility of another Bone Crusher. Well, the good news is our sequencing didn't matter. That's the good news. I think I want to kill the Lovestruck Beast here, even though I can kill most of their 1/1s. Big Country, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Any tip for people wanting to make Magic content on Twitch? OBS is great. Make content because you like doing it, not because you expect it to make money. Those are my prime Magic content related tips. Maybe I should have waited to play the cat until after I had Anax in play, since I know they have this Bone Crusher Giant. So I assume this is about to get stomped on. Do it because you like it, not because you plan to win, is solid advice. All right, any creature here. Chandra would be the absolute nut draw here. Chandra would be the absolute best draw on our deck. Add'll do, pig, add'll do. Think I'm just passing here? I'm just gonna pass. Kroxa actually would have been a better draw than Chandra. Yeah, you're right. Kroxa would have been the best draw on our deck there. Well, those are largely bricks. Yep. Anax, God, this card is really sweet in this archetype. Yeah, I think I'm gonna update the list on my site to be this one that we're playing here today. Anax being another card that's very good with Cat Oven is really sweet. It's kind of like Mayhem Devils. It's kind of like extra Mayhem Devils in a way. It also synergizes with Priest. Yeah, but opponent just like doesn't have any removal left, and like we have like 3 must-answer threats in play. And they can't currently answer any of them. What software do I use for cutting and editing videos? Machu! Thank you for the entire year support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. My dirty little secret is that I really don't do much video editing. So OBS allows you to record local video files while simultaneously streaming live. So whenever I start streaming a new deck, I start a new video recording, and when I stop a deck, I cut it. Now, occasionally there's disconnects or things like that, so there's an open source video editor called OpenShot that I do use very sparingly. I also just like use FFmpeg from the command line sometimes. Push my glasses up when I say that one. As a true intellectual, FFmpeg is clearly the answer. Bye, friend. There were a lot of ways to eat that Reese's at the end. You're not wrong. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty happy with where we ended up at. We ate it to mono red at one point in that set, but like we managed to squeak by Jeskai even, which was pretty reasonable. I think the list seems pretty decent overall. I think you want, like, we didn't get to really leverage Ashiok in that set, but I think having a couple of Ashiok makes these better. And it's also, like, very main deckable graveyard hate that's randomly going to hose people as well, which is great. I think there's enough red in this format that, like, 4 Redcap Melee is, like, a very reasonable inclusion in the sideboard. I don't think you'd catch me without those. I think if you did decide to try and cut this, you probably want a 4th cat. The reason why I'm only on 3 cats is in part because Ashiok can draw us cats by flipping it into the discard pile. Gutterbones was very, very good. Was super happy with this card. In our kind of scrappy wins that we got against the Jeskai decks, this card coming back again and again and again was super, super relevant. Yeah, there is also a Twitch to YouTube direct export function. I've used that in the past too if I have a problem with my local recordings. All right, what are we doing? I'm going to hit a quick ad roll, and then we are going to come back with some more standard. Up next, we had a build-around submission for green-black mid-range in standard. So when we return, we're going to try and slam some games with this one. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. We didn't play against any just blue-white in that set. We did beat Jeskai twice, though, but those archetypes differ a little bit in how they play out. Phyrexian Fox, thank you